there, PA Federationists. Welcome to another episode of White Canes Connect, presented by the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania. My name is David Goldstein. I am the first vice president of the NFB of Pennsylvania. And in today's very special episode, we're going to take a look back to the 2024 NFB of Pennsylvania State Convention in Erie from November of last year. In this episode, we're going to listen to President Lynn Heitz give her presidential report. Now, I love the speech overall, but I really love that she compares Eric Carle's very hungry caterpillar to a person's blindness journey. And I really love that she read the entire book, which of course is very short. But when my kids were little, my wife and I used to read this book to them on a daily basis. And obviously, because I can't see, I had to memorize the words. And they are still rattling around in my head today to the point where my kids are 28 and 31. So it wasn't yesterday we were reading it. But what I think is really funny is Lynn reads the word pop. Now, I would have done that differently because when the kids were little, they loved when I did this instead of saying the word pop. And maybe that's why they like to read the book so much. Even when my wife read it, I still did the pop. Here is President Lynn Heitz and her presidential report from the 2024 State Convention in Erie.
As you listen to the following story, think back to when you were told you were going to be blind. This story was written by Eric Carle, and those of you who are parents have probably read this story to your children. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop, out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night, he had a stomachache. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf. And after that, he felt much better. Now he wasn't hungry anymore. And he wasn't a little caterpillar. He was a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out, and he was a beautiful butterfly. So, why do I read this story to you today? Compare your journey through the world of blindness to the journey the caterpillar took to become a beautiful butterfly. The acceptance of blindness is a journey. We in this room are not all in the same place in our journeys. Some of us are very new to vision loss. This may be your first convention. You may have never been in the company of so many blind people before. And you may be wondering, will I ever get to be like them? Or what am I doing here? Like the caterpillar looking for food, you are looking for answers. Your emotions may be in a bit of a turmoil, and you may have feelings of inadequacy. Some of you may be wondering, why is this happening to me? There are some feelings of numbness and disbelief, but these feelings are brought on by the stigma the sighted world has placed on blindness. It is difficult for the majority of the sighted world to believe that blindness can equate to competency. It is unfortunate that society has put such high regard on vision, and they cannot, quote, see, unquote, beyond using their eyes. Some of you may be hoping for a miracle to happen that will return your sight. And while doing this waiting, you put off learning skills that could help you in the short term. You may be experiencing feelings of isolation, fear, and loneliness. And these are very common. But do not let these negative feelings overtake you. These feelings are all very normal. Some of you may be loosely connected with the National Federation of the Blind. Your journey beginning. You have connected with a local chapter and you attend meetings occasionally. You are not sure of that white cane thing. Excuse me. It takes some getting used to. And by no means are you ready to give up reading print. No, Braille is not for me. But remember the caterpillar. He continued looking for food. And the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania is food for the blind. You may be starting the journey by looking for resources, but have not yet decided they are for you. You continue to hope for a cure. There are others who have begun to embrace their blindness. They have started using a white cane, if only once in a while, and never, ever went out with friends or family. You're still not sure about that Braille. It is just too difficult. But technology, that is worth investigating. You may be beginning to examine your purpose in life. You have decided you want to journey a little further and begin to explore tasks or hobbies you enjoyed as a sighted person. And through this desire, you begin to accept your ability to do things differently. And this leads to you becoming more independent. The feeling of accomplishment this independence brings plants the seed for the growth of a positive attitude. Like the caterpillar, you continue to move forward. The feeling of accomplishment encourages you to continue advancing forward in your journey. Some of us in the room are in the I got it, I got this moment. There is a feeling of being comfortable in your own skin. Successes have increased, which grows the feeling of self-esteem. You begin to feel empowered. Your focus is beginning to move away from your personal needs, and it begins to turn outward. This feeling of empowerment enables you to contribute to the well-being of others. You have begun to imagine reaching goals you thought were lost forever. Then there are that handful of us who can relate to the butterfly. Those of us who have totally embraced our blindness. We use our white canes wherever we go. We have stretched our minds to learn Braille, even if it is only the basics. We travel, shop, enjoy outdoor activities, and are very active in our communities. And we have self-esteem. We are not concerned about using a white cane in public, and all because of our getting to know the National Federation of the Blind. We are like the butterfly that is popped out of the cocoon. The world is our oyster, and the sky's the limit. So, do we just walk away with our skills? No. We share our successes, abilities, and achievements, as well as our shortcomings, failures, and disappointments with others. Not to say, see what I did, but to say, you can do this too. We meet new members of our community where they are and bring them along on their journey. Sometimes the journey is easy, and sometimes it takes a long time. But the end result is always worth the trip. We are not looking for recognition. We know that without the mentorship, philosophy, and determination fostered by and through the National Federation of the Blind, we would not be where we are today. We share this freely with our brothers and sisters who are just finding the NFB. This is why it is so important for us to do outreaches. It is easy to say to a sighted individual, "Can you man this table for me?" It is easy to make up an excuse not to participate in an outreach event because maybe we're not comfortable in our skills. It is when we, the blind, are doing these outreaches ourselves that society sees that the blind can do. We can be productive members of our society. We can empower other individuals experiencing vision loss when we are out and about. Whether it is for pleasure, participating in a community event, or speaking at a Lions Club or other community program, I would be remiss if I did not address the concerns facing our blind children. We know the school districts have an obligation to provide a free and appropriate public education. But sometimes we forget that education does not stop when the student leaves the school building. Education continues at home. We are aware of the shortfall of the education system when it comes to the teaching of Braille and orientation and mobility for blind children. I had spoken with Carle Clancy, the Director of Special Education in the Commonwealth, regarding the possibility of the NFB of Pennsylvania providing Braille enrichment during the summer to prevent blind students from falling behind. But we, the parents, have an obligation to our children as well. Sighted parents fill their homes with books and toys that are fun and yet provide a teaching moment for the children. So many times I hear, the school is not doing its job. And that may well be true. But are we, the parents, providing opportunities in the home for our children? There are several places to get Twin Vision books. The Independence Market sells a variety of accessible games. The National Federation of the Blind has several programs where parents can get materials in print and braille so they can read to their children, and then the children can read to the parents. I have attended 6 IEP meetings in the past year, and unfortunately, the story is always the same. We are short-staffed. We can only provide braille and orientation and mobility once a week. We need to get these educators to understand that they are graduating a community of illiterates. Do sighted children get only 1 hour per week of reading and language arts? I dare say they get this instruction every day. Technology is great, but if our children cannot form a sentence, if our children cannot use punctuation properly, if our children cannot read fluently, they will not be able to fully participate in greater society. The NFB of Pennsylvania has finally received the go-ahead to provide braille instruction to customers of the Bureau of Blindness and Visual Services. We have 2 members who have completed all their background checks, and we are looking forward to receiving purchase orders to provide this instruction very soon. Recently, Dawn Sokol, Bureau Director for BBVS, was able to facilitate a business services representative position in each of the 6 BBVS district offices. The duties of these individuals is to reach out to employers to share the benefits of hiring a blind person. I have spoken with Dawn at length about how these individuals will be trained in the abilities of blind customers. If these individuals will have any interaction with blind people who have worked outside of government employment. We talked about the importance of having these individuals participate in a training with competent blind adults and having them attend the 2025 state convention and spending the time being mentored by some of our members. Dawn was very open to this idea, and we will continue to create such a training as the year progresses. As I mentioned earlier, we are also looking forward to working with the Bureau of Special Education to provide remedial braille instruction during the summer months. As an addition to this, it is my pleasure to inform you that David Dinoteris and Nick Spone have been appointed to the Pennsylvania Advisory Committee on Education of Students who are blind or visually impaired. We look forward to a more positive partnership through these appointments. We have welcomed 33 new members to our state affiliate since last year's convention. We assisted 15 individuals to attend this past year's national convention. And we are assisting 11 individuals and the state convention. We have participated in countless outreaches across the Commonwealth. We have been asked to participate on a committee to assist Amtrak to improve service. We were excited to participate in Patan's new program called Tech Adventure, and you will hear more about this later today. Through our continued partnership with Ellen Strom, Chief Accessibility Officer for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the NFB of Pennsylvania was asked to participate in a roundtable discussion about the accessibility of Commonwealth websites. 7 of our members came together at the governor's residence in Harrisburg to participate in this event. And you'll hear more about this later as well. We have been attending the State Board of Vocational Rehabilitation meetings to make sure the voices of the blind are heard. At a recent meeting, we learned that youth customers from the Philadelphia District Office of the Bureau of Blindness and Visual Services participated in the My Work program. And again, there'll be more on that later today. Again, through our partnership with Ellen Strom, we have begun a partnership with Diane Gordian from the Office of Administration. Diane deals with issues relating to voting, and we know this is a big problem in Pennsylvania. Diane attended our coffee with the president in August, and she will be returning in December to find out about voter experiences, good and bad. For this is Wednesday, December 4th at 7:30 p.m. Stay tuned to the NFBP Talk listserv to get the Zoom information. The NFB of Pennsylvania was honored to have a member participate in the first Kenneth Jernigan Leadership and Service Program. We congratulate Stacy Leap for taking this journey to learn more about the NFB. And we will hear more from her and Aubrey Bird later today as well. We are excited to recognize Michelle McManus, who is participating in the second cohort of this program. We have contracted with the MailChimp service, which enables us to send out mass emails about exciting events coming up within the NFB of Pennsylvania. If you have not provided us with an email address, please see David Goldstein or Stacy Leap for that information. Not here. About a week ago, I was contacted by a member who had previously worked in the state prison system. They shared the concern that blind inmates are not getting the appropriate training to facilitate a smooth reentry into society. We talked at great length about what this would look like and how to approach the Department of Corrections to even begin the process. They shared with me the culture within the prison system and some of the challenges of working directly with inmates. I will be continuing this conversation and reaching out to the Department of Corrections. I did share with this member that due to the potential risk to life in entering a prison and working with inmates to provide this instruction, that I would be the person accepting this challenge. I shared that I did not feel comfortable asking another member to put themselves at risk if I was not willing to do it myself. In addition, I feel strongly that individuals who need services should not be denied those services because of where they might be currently living. In conclusion, we may not all be butterflies now, but I am sure everyone in this room can become one. Remember, those of us who claim butterfly status were once that little tiny caterpillar that popped out of the egg. We did not know where to go, what to do, and felt like it was the end of the world. But we made it. And we are here to share your positive journey to acceptance. We may not know all the answers, but we know where to get them. We know, and you will too, that with love, hope, and determination, we can live the lives we want. Blindness is not what holds us back. So join me to continue building the National Federation of the Blind of Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this special episode of the 2024 NFB of Pennsylvania State Convention in Erie. Mark your calendars because the 2025 NFB of Pennsylvania State Convention is coming back to Harrisburg at the Best Western premiere from November 13th to the 16th. Now, you can't buy tickets yet, but we are in the planning stages, so stay tuned for some emails if you want to help as we get started with it. Were you at the 2024 NFB of Pennsylvania State Convention in Erie? If you were, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, 267-338-4495. You've got up to 3 minutes to leave your name and town and your thoughts about the convention. If you weren't at the convention and you have a question or a comment or a show idea, again, 267-338-4495. Let us know what that question is. You can also reach out via email, whitecanesconnect@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening. Take care.